we go. We're going live. All right, y'all. We are live. I'm gonna wait a few minutes for people to come on. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Get started. I'm gonna wait a few minutes before we get started and go live with this episode 59. Thank y'all for joining us. This should be a cool and fun show for a Sunday evening.
Rainy evening.
All right, I just shared it. All righty. Y'all ready?
Yes.
Am I ready? All right. Trying to give a few minutes for people to log on before we get started. All right, here we go. Hello, world. Your sister is here, ready, open, and as fabulous as possible. I am your sweet Melanie, and you are now listening to Girl, What? So we always start the top of the show with our drink of the day. And we have two lovely guests, actually three, but two featured guests today. And one of them is going to tell us what the drink of the day is. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
And today's drink of the day is
a libation to ensure some good vibrations.
Right.
It's a little something with a little hint of pineapple. Just refreshing on this wonderful Sunday afternoon.
And so we just gonna get right into it. All right. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and then I'm gonna have all the other guests introduce themselves as well. Go ahead. Silk, take it away.
Hi, I am DJ Silk. On the ones and twos, usually I am a local DJ in Miami, playing the best in R&B, old school, new school, hip hop, reggae, bachata, whatever you want, I play. And you will have all my information before this show is over.
Okay. All right, great. And Just Love, Satonya, known as Just Love.
Yes, my name is Satonya, also known as Just Love, and I've had during quarantine the opportunity to have my own show on grownfolksmiami.com. I'm very careful of saying that I'm a DJ. Much respect to all the DJs, DJ Silk, but I'm more so a radio host. So exploring this, I won't necessarily say full time, but it's just something that I've always wanted to do since I was 12 years old. My mother actually helped coordinate Les Brown coming to speak at our church.
Wow.
At the time, he was a disc jockey, and I was so inspired by him. And obviously over the years, always heard that I had a voice fitting for radio. And so it's just something I've always wanted to do. And so what I did was to energize this. I started a podcast and I would create playlists, and then the opportunity came to have a show, and it worked out. So here I am.
Well, thank you for coming, both of you.
Thank
And
you.
then next, I have my homegirl, my sorority sister, who is a regular, and she actually was featured on the last show. But today, because I know she's an avid music lover like myself, I asked her if she would like to join us in the cave, and she accepted. So, Aisha?
Hey y'all, I got my little drink, little rum with some lemonade and lime. I'm a blogger and a freelance writer, a former editor and co-owner of a publication that we had in the early 2000s called Urban America. And I'm an avid music lover and music journalist. And I've been fortunate to interview some really great people in the past, both local talent and celebrities like Wyclef, John Legend, Beanie Man, DJ Red Alert. So I love the DJs and I love music. Shout out to DJ Silk, because there are not a lot of female DJs out there. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm a true hip hop head.
All right, great. All right. So I don't know. I know Aisha is used to the show, but what we do next is what I call Mel's Moment. So this is like my little segment of the show where I kind of talk about what I've been up to or things that I want the public to know since the last taping. So I'm going to go ahead and get into Mel's Moment. And that's not the sound for Mel's Moment. And that isn't either. So I don't know what happened to my sound for Mel's Moment. Hold on a second. Oh, there it is. Mel's Moment. That's more like it. Okay. All right. And so I'm going to be really quick, y'all. The most important thing, well, first, let me do this. I want you all to listen to a few little decorating tidbits. I jotted down some fun ideas for Memorial Day, which I got from Better Homes and Gardens. And the first thing it said, this was a cool idea, I thought, to take your dinner outside and basically take your dinner table outside and have like a casual dinner in your backyard. So I thought that was kind of cool, especially if you're still in quarantine mode like I am, just to, change it up a little bit and move your whole table outside in your backyard and set it up all nice, for 4th of July, for the Memorial Day, and sit out there and have dinner. So I thought that was cool. And then the second idea, which I think some people do this, but maybe set up your backyard, your outdoor area with a movie screen and watch a movie outside. So I thought that was cool. And then I wanted to just kind of elaborate, because I don't know if I've ever done this in my segment before. I've always mentioned that I am a decorator, but right now in quarantine, during this pandemic, I now am doing virtual consultations. And I wanted to mention that I think sometimes when I speak of decorating or I share, my images or my work, people have a tendency to think that it's expensive. So I cater to all budgets. It could be as simple as you just need my expertise to help you lay out or redo the layout in a room. And you just want my opinion or you want me to help you. I had one client who she moved into a place and they had like an AC box unit. And she was so frustrated because she felt like it was an eyesore. So just one simple consultation, I was able to talk her into rearranging her furniture. So now you can't even see it. So just simple things like that. If you, want ideas with art that you want to put up on the wall and you have no idea, reach out to me. So I cater to all budgets and I move at your pace. So, I could do the shopping for you. I could do the shopping with you. But in the consultation, we talk about what your needs are. And so the virtual consultations are actually working out really well because even though I'm not there, I can kind of see what's going on in the house and see that space. and give you some ideas. And you'd be surprised at just one simple thing, one simple change, one simple addition, how it could change the dynamic of the whole room. So I just wanted to, mention that so you all understand that it doesn't have to be an expensive service. It's little things. You might need help picking a paint color, or, you might need help with, I don't know, you just want to rearrange your kitchen, or you need organization help. Give me a call, 754-265-7446. That's my business number. You can email me, info@shinchicdecor.com. I also have a website. You can send me a message on there. If there's anything on my online store that interests you, go ahead. You can purchase it. That's www.shinchicdecor.com. And so I just want to make sure I kind of explained what I do, so that, people understand that. Don't think that, oh, I want to hire her, but I don't have no money. So I work with all budgets, and I work with you. So, and then follow me on social media, Shin Chic Decor, Girl What, and Team Shin Enterprises. That's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of the above. In terms of this show, we're on iHeartRadio. I have a YouTube channel. I would love for you to follow, just Girl What, but it's GURL What. And I'm on all digital platforms, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, you name it, I'm there. So I just wanted to do that for my moment, and we're going to move on to Hot Topics. So Hot Topics. This is when I talk about current events, which we've had a lot of stuff going on.
Yes.
So, and with this section, I talk about everything. Politics, entertainment, all the above. Everything that we've been talking about, we talk about. All right, so first I had on my list of things to discuss. Number 45 is pushing to reopen churches. And CNN, according to CNN, we are approaching 100,000 deaths from a surge as Americans gather for the holiday weekend. And there is a fear of spike in cases, in case we have a second wave. Thoughts? Anybody have anything to say about that? No?
I do.
What?
Go ahead, Silk. You can go first.
Well, it's just interesting the selection that number 45 chooses in terms of opening, quote unquote, the world back up. It's always, it seems like undertones of trying to, and I'm just gonna be frank, where the Black people, and they like church, and so let's open the churches back up. And I know it ain't just about us, we want to go to church, but it just seems like it's always such a an organized scheme to, open bowling alleys and nail salons and everything. And that's just how I feel, because I know that's where our people, we tend to, focus a lot of time spent in those areas. So I don't know what you guys think about that, like his strategies.
I think we just have to be careful. And I know a lot of people are eager to go out. A friend of mine posted that they were on Las Olas Boulevard, and they actually showed footage of all these bars open. So it's all people, and the bars and restaurants on Las Olas were full. So we really have to be careful. I know people also have been posting, more people die of cancer or suicide or what have you. But the issue is they don't know what is causing this, and the symptoms are crazy. Some people are asymptomatic, and some people with weak immune systems are dying, and nobody wants to be in the hospital when there's a shortage of ventilators and there's a shortage of staff and help, and then you pretty much die alone because they don't have it under control, so you can't be around family. So this is nothing to play with, and as for me and my family, we will quarantine. That's all I can say about
Amen to that. Satonya, want me to move on, or you got something to say?
Well, I think that if you have done a great job thus far at staying in place, that you didn't come this far to just come this far. Don't get so antsy towards the end. I think during this time frame, hopefully everyone has learned that they should be doing things, eating properly to build up your immune system. And so you cannot be fearful as far as living in fear to be a hermit, but you should be respectful and use your reasonable service and govern yourselves accordingly. And I think that if you have the choice and the liberty, you know, to stay at home, it doesn't hurt you to stay at home just a little longer.
Okay, so I'm gonna close out this little section about COVID. Right now, right before we got on the show, I checked the numbers. So I'm just gonna throw it out there and then we're gonna move away from it. Global cases right now, 1,639,872, 97,599 deaths. And as of 11 a.m. today, more than 50,800 reported cases of COVID in Florida, with 2,233 deaths, 16,845 in Dade County, 6,697 in Broward County, 5,201 cases in Palm Beach County, and 108 in Monroe County. So the numbers are high. Everybody can do what they want, but I know what I'm doing. I'm staying in the house. All right, moving on. I'm going to move to, well, let me get this out the way. In Daytona Beach, since they've opened up and lifted some of the restrictions in Florida, there was a shooting in Volusia County in Daytona Beach, according to Channel 7. The shooting erupted at a Florida beachside road where more than 200 people gathered and were seen partying and dancing despite pandemic restrictions. According to authorities, several people were injured. I'm not sure who the shooter was. I'm not sure if they announced who the shooter was yet, but when I checked, this is the latest and greatest. Had you all heard about this?
Yeah, I saw some video footage today of that massive crowd gathering in Daytona, and it was just astonishing to me. And you know, like Aisha was saying, it's not just, you know, white people or Black people to get back into these big groups, but I'm just really concerned about our people because of the huge numbers and the increase, and they love to quote those numbers out. Hispanics and the Blacks the most affected right now. So I'm just astonished when I see this, because our mindset has, you know, we can't operate like the others, you know, with all the preconditions that we have as a people, just from a heredity standpoint, you know, we're just more prone to sickness for whatever reason. And then I'm not concerned about the young folk as much, you know, getting and not being cured, like you all know. It's just that they take it home to grandma and grandpa, because you know how we live communal style living, and it's just not fair to them. And I know that a lot of families this weekend are going to be gathering and doing the same thing, because that's what we do as a people. We love to gather, we love to, you know, fellowship with each other. But right now, it's just, I don't know what it's going to take for us to understand. It's a selfish mission when these younger folk go into these crowds and then bring it back home. So I'm really a little astonished by all that. The video was sickening.
Anybody else?
I hadn't heard of, and I'm surprised I didn't get the alert, but I hadn't heard about that incident. I heard about in California, going back to the churches, there was someone who tested positive, and it was 180 people in their church. And then I heard something else recently about, is it Great Clips, like the haircut?
The barber.
Yeah. And so how they, two different barbers were asymptomatic and they both tested positive. And I think it was over 8 days, they probably seen collectively maybe about almost 300 people.
Oh, wow.
So no, I hadn't heard about it. I wanted to find this.
What's concerning to me, while you're looking, Satonya, what's concerning to me is that even after being quarantined, we shooting. We're shooting. Like, what are we really learning?
Yeah. Now, I've heard of a lot of different things, criminal related, that you're like, why are you even out? You know,
Right.
why are you even out, much less being involved in these type of activities? The meme that I wanted to read was, and it was posted on CeeLo Green's page, and he said, I'd rather stay well, it's a me. I'd rather stay in quarantine for the whole summer, just as long as I don't have to bury one of my family members, kids, or loved ones.
That's
And
true.
for me, that's the beginning, middle, and end of it.
It's affecting everybody. Like it hasn't affected my immediate family, but my cousin's grandmother, who was in a nursing home, she passed away this past week from COVID. So it seems like it's going to impact us, maybe not directly, but somebody that we know is losing their life over this. And that's why, we were joking, but y'all know I don't leave my house. So
but I don't know if that's what it's going to take, because when you think about like the AIDS epidemic, everybody was not, if you weren't affected by it, then it didn't seem like it resonated with you to the level it ultimately did, because we all had somebody to die from AIDS or was connected not distantly from them. So I don't know if this is going to be the same situation, once it really, unfortunately, if the second wave happens and it does, start to roll into more homes, then maybe everybody be like, oh shoot, we better take this serious. Because that's the kind of similar thing happened with AIDS epidemic. They thought it was just a gay man disease, or it came from Africa. And then once it really embedded itself in different homes, then all of a sudden there's a wake up call.
True. All right, I'm gonna move on from that. Y'all want something fun, or y'all want me to hit the news and then go to fun and end it with fun? What y'all want?
Fun.
Fun? Last night. Let's talk about last night.
The
battle.
Versus.
The battle. Okay, the battle. And let me just say, I am alumni graduate of Miramar High School. So when I was in school, I'm used to island music. I'm American, y'all. So I'm from originally Atlanta, Georgia, and grew up here. But I love, when I tell you love, reggae. Okay. So Beanie Man and Bounty Killer. When I saw the promo, I was geeked, and boy, did they show out. So I'm gonna do the little, the news part of it, and then we're gonna get into it. So, last night, according to Billboard.com, dance hall legends Beanie Man versus Bounty Killer. They competed, and many were concerned about their sound system because it took place in Jamaica.
Right.
So Jamaican sound systems pioneered these. Actually, the Jamaican sound systems are the ones that pioneered these sort of beat battles and what they call clashes over a half a century ago. So we're behind the times. Jamaica is like, they're known for doing this kind of stuff. There were concerns that Jamaica's Wi-Fi connection could pose a challenge, but on the contrary, this battle was by far, and correct me if I'm wrong, if they're wrong, this battle was by far the best produced beat battle of them all. Not to mention, Beanie Man paused in action to negotiate with the police officers. Aisha, you have your hand up.
That made it so classic when the police came. And Beanie just took control. Bounty Killer was trying to get on the run. And he was like, yes, officer, can I help you? You really want to be that man to stop? We have 500,000 people viewing us. You really want to be that man? So the memes are going crazy. But big ups to them, because they had the sound systems right. They were in a true dance hall fashion. I don't think they were really social distancing. I don't know how many people were in that dance hall. But I know that when I read the news reports, Jamaica's on lockdown too, and they have a curfew of 8 p.m. I know like in other places like the Bahamas, it's like 9 p.m., but nobody's supposed to be out in the street. But they represented, and I felt like it was like, a true dance hall fashion. Not even battle, I should say, but like more of a concert and great sportsmanship. They've always performed together in the past. They've toured together. Shout out to Beanie Man. I met him in the past when he was in Miami and interviewed him. He's a really nice guy, but he's all about his music and his business. Gained a little weight though. We could see he got
a little belly, yeah.
Got some grown man weight on him. But that was like I would like Major Hype would say, fire for that. That was fire, straight up fire. It was awesome.
It was like 400,000 people.
500,000.
It was 500,000?
Yeah, it was over 500,000.
Okay.
And if you look at Beanie Man's talk, he's like, we got over 500,000 viewers. Do you really want to be that man, that guy to stop it?
Yeah.
And the police officer backed down. So that was classic. That made the battle even more authentic.
Yeah, it was. Anybody else? So did you see it?
I didn't see it. I hope I can catch it. Did you record it? That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
Google it.
Okay.
Please watch it. It was
okay.
Satonya, did you see it?
I was in and out. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I actually enjoyed the beginning with the DJs because we were waiting for like what 20, 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, in classic Jamaican fashion, they started late. Shout out to all my Jamaicans and Jamaicans out there. But it was dance hall, and everybody. Did you see the comments? Like Hussein Bolt was on there.
Yes.
Rihanna was on there making.
Buju Banton was on there too.
Was on there. Yeah, Buju Banton. Everybody was on there, like in music, and they were enjoying it.
And it's funny because at the end, my friends and I, because we were texting and I had the music blasting. You couldn't tell me I wasn't at the club last night. But I was like, okay, so who won? And we were like, I don't know who won. To me, honestly, I feel like the DJ won because the DJ was fire.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
wow.
DJ was fire. The DJ made
dance hall one, the culture one. It was amazing.
For real. They showed out. I'm not even gonna lie. Like they did their thing. So I think Monday is tomorrow is Jagged Edge and 112. So they have a tough act to follow. All right. So I'm gonna move on from that. Joe Biden apologized on Friday, according to The Guardian, for saying that if African Americans have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Yeah, shame on him for that. Because, okay, let's face it. A lot of us Black people feel that way, but you can't be of another race and say that. Because are you going to just take our Black vote for granted? Would you say that to a group of Asian people or Latino people? Would you say that to Native Americans or, people from India? So you got to be careful how you say things. I know what his intent was, at least I think I do. And let's face it, I'm voting for anybody but Trump. So he's still going to get my vote. But you have to be careful. You can't afford to make slip ups like this in this election, because it's not as if Black people a lot of Black people will vote for Trump, but they may choose not to vote at all. And that's what you don't want. So I don't know who's advising him, but he's got to practice his media. He needs to prepare better.
So,
well, yes, amen. So I'm just so sad because, there's a lot of Black voters, unfortunately, on the fence too, and we're talking to educated people who really want to not just fall into the realm of voting Democrat because that's traditionally what we do. A lot of them really want to look at the platforms these days. And so when you say comments like that, right now we're desperate. Like, I mean, in the past, I'll be like, okay, if you're on the fence, stay on the fence. So you want to do it, but we can't afford to lose not one vote in this election. And we got to get our other people out there. But with Biden, and I'm voting for him. I don't care what I'm getting ready to say. But this over. Y'all may say whatever. So I'm like these brain farts he have. Like, I mean, he sometimes I'm not questioning his political experience, but he's at his age, there's sometimes when he just say things that you got to process, and that's one of the things that I liked about Obama. He was really good at not getting roped into being very reactionary. The president with number 45 we got right now, he gets away with all the instant comments without filtering himself, and that's becoming his norm. But with unfortunately people like Biden, we're struggling to try to get this other man out of the office. You said whether somebody's advising him or not. I don't care who advises him if he is not in control of thinking through his comments, every comment counts now. So
that's why he has to practice.
Well,
he has to practice. Let's remember, Obama won because he initialized the young vote. He got a lot of young people to vote, and he got a lot of minorities to vote. And Joe Biden does not have that same appeal to get that young vote. So when you start talking like that, you're turning away the young vote that you desperately need.
So,
yeah, I want to keep it right there, but I mean, I want to stress this young vote and what Obama did, because when I reflect about, that big train ride that everybody went and got mama, cousin, uncle, great grandma to the polls, but we didn't invest them in the whole idea, like back in the civil rights movement when we were invested in voting. We don't care who or what election, what primary, what race, what local municipality political things going on. We voted because we wanted a voice. But then when Obama, we wanted this black man in the office, I don't think we did enough to invest people in young people. And this is something that you are bound to do. This is a part of you. It's not because of the black man. So we're in trouble either way it go, because all those voters that we registered, they still might not come to the polls now because they're not invested in the right to vote.
Satonya?
Well,
so politics is hard. Politics,
a lot to unpack. I just, if someone chooses not to vote, because of that statement, then I feel that they probably weren't going to vote anyway. I think when you think about getting older, as you get older, you revert to more childlike, and children say what comes to mind.
That's what I'm saying.
None of this is to give him a pass. Obviously, this is a very critical time and a very vital position. But I know that it was, if I had to interpret it, I would say that it was said out of jest. And there was a familiarity. So you could say that he probably was a little too comfortable. But if it really turned somebody off, they probably weren't going to vote anyway. And if somebody chooses not to vote, they're doing, they're doing more harm for themselves. The whole ideology about the Black vote not being free, like even saying that to me, it's just the timing of it. There's too much at stake now,
Right.
Amen.
Too much at stake to kind of have
and
this.
no misstep.
Yeah. So right now, he's the best thing cooking.
That's all we got. Listen, I probably am not, what I'm about to say, people probably gonna be like, I don't really agree with it, but this is what I even posted this on Facebook. Yesterday. Like, raise your hand, and y'all too, raise your hand if you've ever said what you were thinking, and then after the fact you were like, dog it, I shouldn't have said that. Mm-hmm. And I bet you every Black human being in America will raise their hand also. And I say that to say, I think we are so judgmental. And just because he's a white man, he said the truth. He said what we think.
I know.
And I'm sorry, if that makes you not vote.
Right.
Because he said what we think.
Right.
Then it's something wrong with you. Because if you would rather this man, number 45, who to me, in my opinion, is aiming to be a dictator.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You will not vote and put this country, our children, our future in the hands of dictatorship. Something wrong with you. Because I ain't perfect. He is a human being. He is not a robot.
Right.
And it depends on what day you catch me on. I might say the wrong thing too.
But you are not in politics, and neither are we. So when you are in politics, you have to prepare. You have to make sure you are not alienating your base and those who are outside your base that you're trying to sway to vote for you. That's politics.
But
been in it over 40 years. He got to get it together. I'm sorry. He got to do better. He has to do better.
I agree. He needs to be more careful with his words. But I just know as human beings, we are so judgmental and so critical when we need to point the finger back at ourselves at the same time. So I understand what you're saying. And when you're vetted for that type of position, you need to be prepared. But it's a whole lot of worse things he could have said or done. But, that's just me. At the end of the day, I'm voting for him.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, but let's learn from Hillary. Look at some of the things Hillary went through and did not win with Trump. He has to look at those things and be super careful.
I agree.
Trump, we know, has a strong base. We were all shocked when he won, but he won. And a lot of us did not vote. So we have to be, his whole campaign camp has to be aware of that. I'm sure they are doing that right now and strategizing. He did issue an apology, but if he needs to take that B12 vitamin to get his mind sharp, that's what he needs to do.
I'm just saying, if you're listening and you're not voting, honey.
Yeah. I would say that
it ain't gonna be pretty.
When you consider these things, you also have to take into you also have to remember that, taking a step further, that we're all human beings, but we're all human beings that have our own personalities. And that is a part of his personality. He's like a trash talker, not like a trash talker, like to be offensive, but he's quick and he'll say things that are, off mark or off base.
Feisty, yeah.
But it's not coming from a malicious intent. And there are at least probably 1 million things that 45 has said and done and put in writing that's horrible and horrible. And, and no one, I'm not going to say no one, but the people who are his base, like they don't see it. And so, what I hear you saying, Mel, is that there should be some type of element of forgiveness, and we cannot lose the opportunity of looking at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture, when he says, is if then you ain't black, if I'm getting the quote correct.
Oh,
there's too much at stake being a black person. There's too much at stake right now, so if you don't identify with being black, or if you are not black, you have too much to lose right now to go, to make another choice, So when I heard it, I was like, man, but I knew what he was saying. And it's not so much something that I thought about, but I could understand the context in which he was saying it.
Just know every voter is not like y'all. Y'all are afraid. Black women are super forgiving, but not everybody else. And we are educated Black women who do vote. Young people don't vote. All right, Mel, let's move on because
I'm wait, one last comment. You had one last thing to say, so.
Kind of like, what Just Love was saying, you gotta look at the bigger picture. And I'm just like, we're so critical on little words that are being said. And I say little because, Trump can say everything and all those white people will do is cringe, like, oh, I can't believe he said that, but I'm still voting for him because his platform, what they believe, the racist, I don't know, whatever they believe in. But, the people who want to keep their money, the wealthy or whatever, they're going to vote for him no matter what. I have a boss who is an openly gay man who's married to a man, and, he still votes Republican. I mean, he's white, by the way. But at the end of the day, we sit and I try to talk politics with them. We sit them like, you're a gay man, why? How could you still vote for this man? Whatever. But he's more concerned about
the money,
keeping his income. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, we just, like you said, we have to, this man can say a million things wrong and still get reelected, perhaps. But we're too critical.
Yeah.
But all right.
We're gonna move on. All right. So this last thing that I jotted down, it will kind of segue into music because this highlights some artists and a situation that's happening. I like Ratchet TV. I'm gonna keep it real. That is my getaway from.
Ain't nothing wrong with that,
Real life.
girl. Girl, what? Me too.
So actually, this show did not start out being ratchet. It has become ratchet. So growing up hip hop, there's a situation with Angela Simmons, Master P, Romeo, and kind of sort of Bow Wow, who I forgot to mention was a runner-up for the Masked Singer, and Candy Burgess won Masked Singer. So I'll just throw it in there. But growing up hip hop, according to TMZ, Master P and Romeo are done with the fake drama. In other words, manufactured storyline involving Romeo and Angela Simmons. Master P feels, and this is according to TMZ, so I want y'all to know this is not my opinion. This is what happened. Master P feels that the show should revolve around Angela finding herself after her ex-fiance's father of her child, was murdered in late 2018. Romeo's relationship with God, they feel, is also being exploited. The article also went on to say that the reason why Romeo wanted to not talk on camera is because he felt like everything was being mashed up into something that really didn't exist. Since then, which the show ended, I guess in real time, the show ended like 6 months ago. Since then, Bow Wow has left, and most recently, I read an article today. I think it was like as of May 20 something. Egypt, which is Pepper's daughter, has left the show as well. So I don't know if you all watched the show, but that's one.
I don't watch the show because I saw it like a long time ago, but I heard in the news reports, like on Black radio, that was going on. And a lot of reality stars are starting to leave because the producers make you exaggerate your storyline. So I follow Tammy Roman on the Bonnet Chronicles, and she used to be on Hip Basketball Wives, which was hilarious. And she said she left because she really didn't care about those storylines, but she had to do those storylines. Like she was really living her real life. But then, you got to exaggerate the drama between so-and-so when you really don't care. Another hip hop star on Love and Hip Hop, what's his name? Stevie B's ex-girlfriend or whatever. The one who's with the basketball lady right now. I forget her name. She's on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. Mimi, yes, thanks. So Mimi took $150,000 pay cut, I heard, because she's not going to be one of the major ones on there. She said she's in a good place, happy, and she don't have no drama, so she's not going to make up any drama. So I respect that, because all money ain't good money.
Anybody else?
I actually don't watch the show.
Oh, okay.
I can't speak to it.
Nobody else? All right. So I'm going to move on. We're going to get into our featured topic. And so I'm going to put on my hip hop. I feel like this is like my hip hop look for this segment of the show. I think. Maybe not.
Okay.
But anyway.
How is that your hip hop look?
I don't know. I feel like I got on my Dance at Club Quarantine t-shirt. So we're going to talk about what we're here to talk about. And that is music. And
yes,
we are the two lovely lady. One is a DJ and one is a radio host. And so before I start the segment, I did want to back up a little bit and just talk quickly about how I met these beautiful ladies. So the one at the bottom, Just Love, Satonya, known as Just Love. We go way back. And straight out of, I've known her since I was like a little girl, but straight out of college when I was trying to find my way and figure out my life and exert my creative energy, she actually was one of the first people, maybe one other person in Tallahassee, but she was one of the first people that kind of allowed me to come in and shadow her and use my creative juices to put on a talent show that we did at the Joseph Caleb Center long time ago. And it was an annual talent show, I believe, and it was huge. Like it was back in the day when the talent shows were big. And the crazy part is, and I'm about to say some personal stuff. But the crazy part is, at the time, I was actually married to my first husband, and in retrospect, the name of her company was called Full Circle Marketing Group, right, or something like that.
Full Circle Productions.
Full Circle Productions. And so, in retrospect, on the night of our talent show, guess who was there promoting his album? I didn't meet him then, but guess who?
Your current husband.
My current husband.
That's amazing.
So talk about full circle. Yeah. So I just wanted to.
Wow.
What'd you say?
You didn't meet him that night?
I didn't meet him that night.
Huh.
Nope. My head was somewhere else. I was running up and down to the stage. I mean the booth, checking the sound booth. So no, but I just remember in retrospect that he was there promoting his thing. Mm-hmm. And so Silk I met. My husband and I have a party rental business called Wolo Party Rental. And so several parties, we always ended up at the same place.
Shout out to Wolo. What does Wolo stand for?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wolo stands for, thank you, Aisha, we only live once. So I'm like, we keep ending up at the same parties.
Yeah.
And you are the bomb DJ. So wherever I go, you go. Wherever Wolo goes, you go. And so
Silk keeps the party going. In fact, before quarantine, and I just got to say this, she did the best Super Bowl party I have gone to. We were dancing up a storm.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun, Silk. Yeah. Silk, you kept that party going. And those are the memories that I cling to right now during this quarantine.
Exactly.
I can't party no more.
Yeah. And then I have Aisha on because she's my girl, and she, like myself, we love music. I love music. She loves music. So when she found out the topic of the show, I was like, well, I know how she gets so happy. She's always singing and dancing. I was like, well, you want to come back and just come to the cave and hang out? And she agreed.
I don't have nothing to do, so
anyway, I'm going to start it off. And I'm just going to say a quote, and then I'm going to let y'all take it from there. Okay. Here's the quote. Music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. And that's a quote from Plato.
Wow, that's nice.
Need me to read it again?
Yeah.
I'll read it one more time. Music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything.
That's so true. Music is like the soundtrack of my life. Like, I was talking to Mel this morning, and I was like, you know what? Before I did the online worship service, I was looking at pictures of my dad, right? Because we're doing something for Father's Day, getting a presentation together. And I said, let me play some of the songs that he used to like. So I'm on Spotify, getting the list. I made a whole daddy song list from that. And then I made a mommy song list and told my mom, and I was talking about, you know, like he used to love Roy Ayers and Grover Washington Jr. and Stevie Wonder, Earth, Wind and Fire, George Benson. My mom liked Phyllis Hyman, Angela Bofill. And that just took me way back. And that's what's been getting me through this quarantine when I'm working from home or whatever. I'm partying, the DJ sets, and my playlist. I have like some fire playlists right now.
I like to hear them.
I'm gonna share them. I got a house one too, so you would like.
I like to hear them. Okay. What'd you say? I'm sorry, Mel.
Go ahead. What you feel when I say that quote?
Well, I'll come in real quick. I know Just Love ready to share. I can see it in her face. But but I mean, like Aisha was saying, the music is the one thing that can reactivate a moment. You know, certain music, like it takes you back to that place. And we all live for those good feelings, and mostly it's good music too, you know, no matter what I play, you know, I'm playing it a lot of times, playing for my audience, but I'm playing to reactivate some memories. So I'm so happy for this platform, you know, being able to go live, even though they cut me off a lot of times. I found out that there's a trick to it. You got to get on the song, get off, because they got a metric set up to actually identify the song and then send you one quick warning and kick you off. But what I like doing though is doing like themes and stuff, like, you know, activate, like if it's Stevie Wonder's birthday, you know, when I did that, people came on, it just took them to a great place. They like text me like, oh my God, that song too. I remember I was such and such a place. One day I did something for the Deltas wanted to do something for their Delta Deers. They wanted to take them back to Motown. So I'm playing the Motown people in the chat box, and then, you know, you got some of the Delta Deers, you know, they 65 and up. They're like, what y'all know about that? I remember being in the back room with that one, and we like, what you doing in the back room? You know, it's like she just didn't mind. We like, wait a minute. I'm like, get your mama. She upset because like one of my sorrows, her mother was on the line. She's like, I remember being in the back room, the dog room. So. And I appreciate that, because it's like that quote says, it's nothing like, you know, music penetrates your soul, and you know, DJs like myself who really, I'm crowd conscious. There's a lot of us not like that, because sometimes what we do is we play what we think you want to hear, you know, and basically that's why when I work with clients, I basically want to know, you know, what genre, what vibe, how you want me to start and how you want me to finish. And then, you know, that's just taking consideration for what they're trying to deliver to their the people that are, you know, at the party. So I live by that quote. You know, I'm already conscious of the fact that I'm here to either stimulate some old memories, do some old school to bring back some great memories, do some house music for those people who really know the power of listening to drums and beats and stuff. So it's all of music is the only thing that can actually reactivate, like I said, a memory. So I'm with that quote completely. It got my vote.
Well, there was one part that spoke out. The wings
to the mind.
Wings to the mind. So one of the things that came to me was how they're using music to work with Alzheimer and dementia patients, and I think that it really speaks to a lot of what you all just said. So they had patients where, you know, they were in this just, you know, recluse and not, you know, non-reactive type of state. And so maybe they weren't communicating even verbally. And by listening to some of these songs, they were able to just come alive again. Yeah. And I think that work is so instrumental, because it just gives you your person back, whoever that may be. One of the things that I love about music is just, you know, the fact that it's a universal language, and it really does connect us all. And while people may have different genres that they prefer, what I've always had gotten kind of sucked into were lyrics. You know, when I was younger, I used to, I've written a lot of lyrics to songs, but it intensifies that connection, because it shows you how you're not the only one to experience certain things, you know, and that could be pain, it could be joy, it could be encouragement and empowerment, and I will wear a song out. I will listen to one song for months, and it never gets old to me, you know, whether it's the chorus or the hook, you know, or the instruments, and I listen to it from beginning to end. And so, like, sometimes what would disappoint me about listening to music on the radio is, you know, your favorite part of the song might be those last 30 seconds. You know, that last bit of crooning, or, you know, the way the bass guitar plays, and then they cut it off. Yeah. But I just, you know, I've relished in this opportunity. When I tell you, like, just smile so hard that the back of my head was hurting. And it was, ironically, you know, it helps me identify with some people who say they want to do something, but they don't necessarily put the energy behind doing it. I actually, when I moved to Atlanta many years ago, I moved to Atlanta with the premise of I'm going to go and be on the radio. And life took me in another direction. It was something that was, always in my heart. It was always something that I just wanted to do. And so shout out to Chico the Leo, the amazing Chico. He's a legend in this city.
Yeah.
He has his online radio station, and he's like, this is what you're going to do. I'm like, what? So it's been trial by fire. But what I enjoy about it is that I do have the opportunity to select my own songs, and so and the people who are listening, they know, they're like, that's your music. We know you picked those songs.
What's the online station that you're at, Just Love?
It's on grownfolksmiami.com.
Okay.
So
that's tight.
Had a little bit of a well, I won't say that, but it's on grownfolksmiami.com, and he's actually in the process of switching the platform, to create an app so that, obviously once people, tap in, it's very easy to listen to. So right now that is the platform. It's grownfolksmiami.com, and you can also listen to it on TuneIn if you look for Chico the Leo Presents Grown Folks. So.
Now, is that on like constantly, or is there a show?
I'm on Wednesdays, and it's Wednesdays from 8 to 10. And, I shared a story about how when he initially told me this is what I was going to do, in my mind, I was thinking about doing it on a Wednesday, and he wanted me to do it on Monday. And I said, well, I actually didn't say anything. I'm like, okay, well, if you want to do it on Monday. And in my mind, the reason why I wanted to do it on Wednesday, just to go just a little deep for a second, Wednesdays work with your emotions, and it works with communication. It's under the influence of the planet Mercury. And so for me, I was intentional about doing it because I really just want to focus on just love. And life will have you in all these different scenarios. And for me, people are like, well, why don't you say your name? And I really just want to focus on just love. And even the way that it's written, and it doesn't have no space in between, just in love. And even with just being lowercase and love being, all of it is intentional. Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to focus, whether it's relationships, whether it's family, utilizing music for healing. Wednesday was the best day. And so when he came back to me, he's like, well, what you think about Wednesday? As if it was his idea. And so Wednesday is the night from 8 to 10.
All right. So music has always been something that's near and dear to me. Even when, and this is crazy, but even when I was in school for my master's in business, my whole business plan, and I could pull it out right now because I keep it. This was before the age of, CDs and digital music. I wanted a music store, something as simple as a music store. And I don't know if you all remember the music store that was located near 163rd Street Mall. When I was in school getting
Blue
my
Note,
master's.
Blue Note. Shout out to Blue Note.
Blue Notes. When I was in school getting my master's, I actually did a research project where I went and I visited him quite often and found out, the ins and outs of running the business. You remember I did it. Yes. And I was really serious about, I just want my own music store. And so, they went out of business.
Yeah.
Now you can, it's go online and buy vinyl.
Right. Because
like
not a lot of people spend on vinyl.
Right.
Anymore.
So the music industry has changed. But like when I was in college, they still had music stores.
Right.
And
When
so,
I was a kid, I used to go to the Wiz in New York, the Bronx, and I used to look at every record.
mhm.
And I used to look at all my parents' record collections and stare at them and read them because I was just mesmerized by the music and the images, and they would play the music. And
Mhm.
I mean, that's how I kind of like
It was
fell in
like an
love with
outlet
music and
almost.
music journalism.
Hmm. So like even in everything that I do, you know, God gifted me with a lot of gifts, a lot of creative
Mhm.
gifts. But if you notice, like even on my decorating page, even on Wolo, music is always going to be
A part.
in my advertisement because I love music. Even with Girl What, the promos, I am madly in love with God
Yes.
and music. And anybody that's known me since I was younger, they know music has always been a part of my life. I was that person that I would spend all my paycheck on music.
I know, me too.
So when this pandemic came about, I didn't know what else to do but to go to God and music. Music gets you through anything. So I'm saying that to say I would like to thank you all, ladies, for, you know, using your gift to save lives because some people may not have God in their life. God is my strength.
Right.
God may not be everybody's strength. Some people, you know, like my husband said, he says it all the time. He's moved by, you know, a pastor preaching, but what moves him is gospel songs.
Mm.
That's what ministers to him.
Ministry, yeah.
Yeah, so some people, you know, music might be that only go-to
Mhm.
because they don't know how to go to God. And like you all mentioned, music says what you want to say, and sometimes you just don't know how to say it. And I truly believe that a part of I went through this phase when I was younger, when I was really heavy into neo soul. Like India Ari was my girl. Conscious music was my go-to, and I really feel that when I was listening to that stuff, it was feeding into my spirit,
Absolutely.
into my how I look at life now and how I handle life now. So I just want to say thank you. Thank y'all for, and I know some of it, you know, is in DJ's case, you all do it sometimes for free. So when you know, of course I would love to have D Nice come talk. He'd probably be one that I'll make an exception to the rule for in terms of a man coming to the cave, but it's a calling, it's a ministry, and you know, everybody doesn't have it. And so when I met Silk, I was like, oh, she's got it.
Mhm.
And I think with anything that we do, it's either, you know, if you're not in it with your whole heart and that's not your God-given purpose, it shows. And I know, Satonya, music's been in your life forever. Like you were one of the people that I could actually relate to when it came to music. Some people don't even have music in their life. And I couldn't even imagine life without it.
Mhm.
So I just have one question. Do you think that this virtual entertainment movement will cease
Mhm.
after we are completely safe to reconvene? What do y'all think?
Mhm.
I think it's going to continue.
Yeah.
It's actually opened up a lot of doors, and a lot of people are going to go virtual. One, because if you look at all the versus battles that Swiss Beats and Timbaland started, a lot of those people did not have a big social media presence, and their social media presence has blown up. So it's starting a new wave. Also, it's starting a wave of getting to know your DJs and people in entertainment. Even our local DJs like DJ Silk, as I see her on Facebook Live. I'm part of an organization called Girl Power. I'm on the board that serves adolescent girls in the Liberty City, Overtown, Little Haiti areas, primarily in South Dade, when we serve adolescent girls for therapies, family services, after school programs, summer camps, college tours, alternative to suspension programs. We just had our virtual day party yesterday and raised thousands of dollars, thankfully, from that. We normally would have the day party around this time of year at a location either in downtown or Wynwood or Miami Beach. But we were able to do it using our DJ that we've used for the past 4 years, DJ A Fly Guy. and it was hot. It was awesome. And you could tell the DJs that really love the trade and the craft that they do, because they will spin just to make people happy, like DJ Silk, like Fly Guy, like the Whiskey Chick, who's another DJ locally, the only other female DJ I know down here in South Florida, like DJ Tillery, who does an awesome house funk mix on Sundays on his Facebook Live. Shout out to Self-Born as a DJ. It's just so many DJs out here that are doing it for the love, and they know how to DJ. Like, I respect the DJ, because you just can't play music. You got to know how to transition. You got to know how to mix. You got to know how to master. You got to know how to flow. You got to know how to read your audience and go with the vibe. You don't want to kill the vibe if everybody likes one certain song or one certain vibe. And that's one thing, shout out to Silk, because when she did that Super Bowl party, she had us nonstop moving and moving. And the party, we didn't want the party to end, but we had to go to work the next day. So, you know, that's how you know a DJ is on point. So shout out to all the DJs that do it for the love.
And
all right, so hold on one second. While you all are answering this question, I see I have a lot of people that are actually interacting and commenting, and I just want to ask them while you all are talking, and then I'll say what they're writing. Like, how do you feel about music? Just tell me a quick, statement about, something you want to add to the mix when it comes to music. And then I'm going to read it out loud. So if you're listening right now, tell me what you feel and how you feel, and how music makes you feel, or how music has gotten through this pandemic. And also whether or not you think it's going to change after we go back to completely safe. And I'm saying that in quotation marks, like completely safe, meaning we got a vaccine and we don't got no issues no more. Right. So jot down your comments, and then I'm going to read them, and then I'm going to go to Silk. You go ahead and answer that question. Do you think that this virtual entertainment movement will cease after we are completely safe to reconvene?
Well, I know Just Love was like, she was getting ready. She had a point.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, I got you. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that life as we know it has completely changed. So there isn't too much of how things used to be that we should really look for. I think that through this crisis, we have the opportunity, there's innovation. And, hopefully, I think one that I was really impressed with was Erykah Badu when she did her virtual concert. To me, she completely, when you think about nightlife, which is a part of the industry that I'm in, she completely took control of the narrative as it relates to, her pocketbook.
She was ready.
And I thought that was just, brilliant, but it also, it helps us think about like what we're spending our money on and how you can have this experience. And it's not to say that it should replace, concerts and festivals, but at least it gives you another outlet. I think who's going to win is how sophisticated you can make it and the production aspect of it. But if it is that you want to do one or the other, I think a lot of the old ways you're really going to lose if that's what you're trying to do. I think for the future, having more intimate curated events, even in that same fashion, as far as like dinner parties or still having artists come in and perform, but on a large scale, I think these virtual events where you can charge $1 and have a million.
A lot of money. Yes. Yeah. And then she went up to $2.
The way that they have these streaming platforms now, like on Spotify, it'll say, 9 million monthly listeners. And you have the whole universe really, not just, Texas or, Miami Arena. You literally could charge $1. And that really it kind of, not really to go back into like politics, but it gives you this, you know, it just makes you think about like sharing and creating opportunities. And here it is, you have something where, you know, it's not just like one promoter who's, you know,
Monopolizing.
Exactly. So I really, really admired what she did, and she pulled the trigger. She really did.
So,
Yeah, I agree with what everyone said here. I just wish that they would allow the DJs to give and people who want to give freely without being a big artist that opportunity. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of times, since we've started this, DJs just want to play, you know, and you know, get on and it ain't even like about them. It's like we're used to playing in clubs or we're used to having events. So when you jump on and you see 1, 2, 3, 5 people online, that's just, you know, it's powerful, you know, and it gets you all excited because it's really about sharing the love and having people enjoy your music. I just hope that it doesn't change too much because they are the big companies like Sony and Warner Brothers, they are really trying to shut this whole virtual thing down. So, you know, the only reason why D Nice gets away with it and not get interrupted, and I love that, thank God, but he's endorsed by, you know, the powers. So us local DJs, we wanna continue this. We love it. But if you do see a slowdown in it, or you know, it's because we're being hit across the head. But
yeah, they are going to try to monetize on it. I can definitely see that coming. But some of the DJs, and I don't know, Silk, if you do this, they pin their Cash App or Vimo and ask for tips. So you could still do that for the time being. They might start letting people, you know, do DJ sets, but charging them. So I know the powers that be and Mark Zuckerberg are already in the boardrooms figuring out how are we going to monetize on this, and how are we going to run ads on this, and how are we going to charge people for this. So we need to enjoy it while it lasts. But there's always a way, right? Like we are like the most creative people ever. And even during this quarantine, we found a way to cope and to keep the party going, which I appreciate. We found verses, the DJ sets, even the comedy skits. It's just been super creative, and I appreciate that. So, you know, with YouTube and everything else, they're not going to be able to stop us. They never have been.
The challenge that I have the most when it comes to music, and you all know I'm married to an artist, so it really hits home. But it really bothers me that the people that have the creative juice, there are people who take advantage of that. And to piggyback on what Satonya was saying, or Just Love, I'm sorry. My hats off goes to Erykah Badu, because she created her own streaming platform. So that just shows you that we can have our own and own our own. It's just a matter of everybody kind of just, okay, if Erykah is the one that has the streaming company, then let's get our music on, let's showcase our music there. Like, it's always, and I'm just gonna keep it real, it's always a white person that comes into play and takes advantage of the creatives when it's their art. It's the DJ's art form.
It's big business. It's big business, and let's keep it real. The record companies are owned by the biggest electronic companies like Sony. So I don't even look at it as a white or black thing. I look at it as a money thing, big business. The Japanese companies have their hands in it. The internet companies, social media companies, you know, Google, Facebook, they have their hands into it. Microsoft, Apple, it's a money thing. But we are the creative. So what we should do as a people who are artists, you always have to take care of your business. And that's one thing a lot of us don't do. I used to work with a lot of talent and manage talent, including my ex-husband's band. They were a band kind of like The Roots, called A Trip Through the Mind. At the time they were together, and they did a lot of local venues here, including doing backup music for Wyclef when he would come down here. it's about the business, and a lot of artists don't have that headspace. I also want to say shout out to Betty Wright, who
Yeah.
passed away. Her services were this weekend, Saturday. And the reason why I want to shout her out and say rest in power, Betty Wright, is because she was the first Black woman to have her own record label. From her record label, the music went gold. She left the industry even after winning, and she won a Grammy under her record label.
Yes.
And she taught so many other musicians and artists how to take care of their business and get their publishing, get their masters. She mentored so many people, so many artists, including some artists that I know. Shout out to Antonia Janae. Shout out to so many other artists. And they used her and she mentored them. She mentored Erykah Badu. She mentored Angie Stone. She mentored Joss. She mentored so many artists. Diddy used to hire her to give vocal lessons to his up and coming artists. And we should all learn from that. Like, have your own ownership and know the business.
And
so
the digital
rest in
game
power, Betty Wright.
The digital game, sorry to cut you off, but the digital game is a new game. And I suggest that every artist learns it, because digital music is where it's at right now. So learn that business, because it's real. So I'm gonna go to some of the comments. And so one person said, music has literally saved my life by getting me out of a headspace that was deceptive and brought clarity. Being from New York in the 70s, we sang and danced all the time, and the memories are vivid. And I think this virtual space will continue. Another person said, if I was a bird, I'd fly away, spread my wings so I'd escape. Music gives me wings. And then she also said, and this is my sister, Toshiba, I so appreciate the music that I can enjoy in my home, dancing with nobody watching, being free and present with my music. Big ups to our virtual DJs. Thank you all for your comments. So this is where I let you all sell yourselves. Y'all know I'm big on Black business. And speaking of which, my sorority, my chapter, we just did our campaign that we do periodically to support Black business, and we featured Magic Soul Food. And the plan is to feature a restaurant every week, or some type of Black business every week. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Myself and Aisha are on that committee. So that's an initiative that we really are pushing. So how can they find you?
Okay, so I'm on Silk Express DJ at you can email me silkexpressdj at gmail.com, or the easiest thing is find me on Facebook. Silk, it's Illka, that's my government name. DJ Silk Slater, and you can find me that way. I'm easy to find, believe it or not. Illka, my first name, government name. If they say Illka, I did it, because the only Black woman with a Swedish name. Thank you, Mama. Rest in peace. Her name was Mary. She had the nerve to give me this exotic name that if they say Illka, I did it. So look me up, and I appreciate this platform too, Mel. Shout out to you, because this is really you're doing it. You're doing it, so we need.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just Love.
Well, I have an Instagram, Just Love I Am, and my regular Instagram is Satonya Says. I also have a podcast where I'm on Anchor FM, but it publishes to all platforms, and yeah.
And Wednesday nights.
Yes, definitely. Wednesday nights, Grown Folks Miami, 8 to 10. Wednesday Lovers. Come check me out.
Ish, what you got?
Okay, so I've been inspired through the quarantine and all the music and everything. So I'm relaunching the blog, This Woman's Perspective, on WordPress. I also started an IGTV little series with my girl, Sally of Celebration. and it's called The Chat Room. Shout out to Selly. And we are going to be promoting that. We did one episode to promote Girl Power Org, which is the nonprofit I just talked about, helping adolescent girls. I love to write about issues, music, blog, and the culture. And I'm a big proponent of positive social change. So I've done a lot of freelance writing for publications such as Legacy Magazine, Sister Magazine, Bossy Magazine, and so forth. Those are local publications here as of late. And I just look for more of those opportunities. I'm on IG at Aisha God Is. My name, AISHAGODIS, because I am made in the image of God. And you can find me on IG and Facebook under those.
All right. And I'm your girl, MelShin, and I am the host of Girl What. And so you can find me everywhere. Team Shin Enterprises is the umbrella. My husband and I have a partnership. He's into music production. He's a bail bondsman also. And then my contribution is this podcast and my interior decorating. And my, main job or my full-time job is a teacher. And somehow, some way, it all connects. Okay. And so you can follow me at...
Don't forget the tutoring services, too.
Yeah, tutoring. It all goes together. I'm big on inspiring, empowering, encouraging the Black family unit. And so, interestingly, all of my gifts kind of connect. And so you can follow me on all social media platforms. Girl What, remember it's with a U, GURL What. And my business, my interior decorating is Shin Chic Decor. And I have a home, Shin Chic Decor Home and Shin Chic Decor Events on Instagram. But if you can't remember all of that, you could always follow Team Shin Enterprises and you'll see everything you need. Okay? And and this show is on iHeartRadio. I now have a YouTube channel, which I would challenge everybody to subscribe to my page because I fund this program, this podcasting myself. And so building subscribers helps the pocket. So please subscribe, follow me, follow my personal page. I'm always trying to be uplifting and I speak my mind. What you see is what you get. That's just the type of person I am. If there's any way that I can help you, I will. Because at the end of the day, I feel we all need each other to survive. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much it, y'all.
Shout out to you, Mel, for the podcast.
Thank you. I always end, and let's toast before I end it with my scripture that I do every time.
A little libation and then the scripture.
That's okay. Listen.
It's okay. Jesus had wine.
Listen. Whoever want to judge, you can, but
it's okay.
I know who God is, and He knows who I am. So at the end of the day,
that's right.
I am what you see is what you get.
Amen.
So, I love y'all for coming on here.
Thank you.
Every time I bring my guests on the show, I always know that God brings like minds and like hearts together as one. So I appreciate each of you. And I wish nothing but the best for all of you. So I'm going to close out this scripture. I always end with this scripture. Colossians 1:16. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him and for him. And on that note, ladies, you have now been listening to, and are y'all going to say it with me? Yes. You have now been listening to
Girl What? Girl What?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mel.
Thank you. Have a blessed week.
All right, DJ Silk, just love. Take care.
To the next time.
See you.